Hey folks, it's Michelle. What's up? We are making some cinnamon rolls today. And what are we using? Well, I have some dough. It's already made. This is a trick. Make dough in advance and stick it in an oily bag and stick it in your fridge. Michelle, you're giving me such amazing content. I can't effing believe it. If you want to know, hold on, where this recipe is from, it's basically a combo of, for this dough, this basic rolls recipe from Home Ground Flour book by Sue Becker, American icon of home baking with freshly milled flour. And this recipe from the Zoji Rushi Virtuoso bread machine. It's right over there, doing a good job on some bread. As a matter of fact, check out this crazy bread I just baked in here. What? It's too big. It's got way too much. Look at how high it is. That's a lot. That's too much, guys. But, you know, it's fine. It has a little bit too much yeast. I kind of had a feeling because I'm testing out things. So, back to the cinnamon rolls. This is live, like super live. I thought, let's just do it live. Why not? This recipe book has a rolls recipe as well. So in rolls are typically not just plain flour, not just like sourdough, a lean or a baguette dough, which is called a lean dough, something that has only like 4 ingredients: flour, water, salt, yeast, or starter, or leavener. Rolls typically have enriching ingredients like milk, eggs, butter, oils, and other sweeteners like honey. So rolls are enriched, and breads can be lean. And this is a freshly milled and partially, sunrise flour. Really having a lot of good results with this right here, sunrise. After taking Dr. Vanessa Kimball's class in Tuscany, I really understood the value of going like half-half or partial, or doing a ratio of a more finely milled commercial flour product that hasn't been adulterated in any way, like finding a good flour, okay, that is really well milled, and having a good strong white flour to add to my whole freshly milled whole grain flours that I make here at home has led to more successful bakes, if you know what I mean, like bakes that are fluffier, rise better, resemble what they're supposed to resemble much more easily, and have the same like good nutrition, and I'm not feeling like it's full of poison or anything bad like that. It's great to have the results that I want as a home baker together with the nutrition that I want as a kitchen witch and a homemade health teacher, and as a home baker too, as a wife and a mother as well, really, and you know, for my own health. So yeah, I've been mixing flours. I've been using home ground flours and some really quality specialty flours to make really exciting doughs that perform well and give you that fluffiness that you really want and so seldom achieve when working with freshly milled flour, unfortunately. And I thought that by going live today, I could maybe, oh gosh, I should let you watch this. Okay, everybody, let's watch Michelle take a big poofy loaf that is just a little bit over poofy. Okay, this is what a little bit, if you're testing recipes too, if you're a recipe tester like me, this is a little too much yeast in my opinion. Look at that, that's a lot, okay? So we're gonna interrupt the cinnamon bread making for the purpose of taking this loaf out. Here we go. I like these gloves, and I cannot lie. These protect my hands from hot stuff. Baking involves touching super blindingly hot things all the time. So, that is a big puffy loaf. That's seriously large. Usually we don't have quite that. It's touching the entire lid. See the way that the lid... Let me go grab a cooling rack. And we will just like unbox this loaf. Ha ha ha. This is a really fun mixture of home milled flour that I milled right there. And that is a mixture of this diversity blend right here, which is like a sort of Ezekiel blend. We'll see a couple of like beans and things in there. There's millet, there's lentils. This is a diversity whole grain blend of things that are like not wheat, things like beans, millets, buckwheat, other kinds of grains. And that adds diversity, about 20 different kinds of diversity to my hard wet red wheat that was also in this. Half of the flour in this loaf of bread that I just baked is home ground in the mock mill here. Boop, boop, boop. That's what this is. So this is a combination of a little bit of this diversity blend. This hard red wheat actually is also a blend. Oh God, this light is terrible. This is also a blend of 5 or 6 different kinds of hard red wheat and hard white wheats actually. So we get some diversity from that here as well. So now we're up to 25 diversity. And the last ingredient that got used in this is this Sunrise Flour Mill Heritage Whole Wheat Bread Blend, which is an organic blend of whole wheat heritage flours, 2 kinds. They basically have Turkey Red, which is considered a heritage wheat and not a modern wheat, which means to say it's been grown for a long time by humanity and isn't new and part of the dwarf wheat system that is considered the modern wheat. And most people are finding that they don't want to be on the modern wheat train. They kind of want to get on the heritage wheat train for various reasons: digestibility, supporting grains that we've been eating for longer, and eating food that your body recognizes more easily as food. So we see that this grain this flour blend has two kinds of wheat in it, and that increases us, and so now we're almost at 30, 28, something like that. And then another little thing that I add to this, by the just a tablespoon of this Meadow Blend. Look at that gorgeous blend of brightly colored botanicals and beans and seeds. We've got chia, we've got hemp, we've got flax, we've got florals in there, mallow flour, green peas, a little bit of CBD, cannabis hemp in its raw, botanical dried flour form, together with these other dried flours. And a tablespoon of this adds another about 20 different ingredients. And so now my bread has a diversity of 40. It's amazing what you can do when you try. I learned the diversity portion of this from this book, The Sourdough School, and the Sweet Sourdough School, The Sourdough School Sweet Baking by Dr. Vanessa Kimball. So the diversity for your gut health and for fiber maxing is really something that is easy to incorporate this way. If you are gonna home bake and you're gonna home mill, then you can create an amazing, fiber nutritious bread like this one, which we need to get out of this hot thing. All right, so big. It's so big. Come out wherever you are. Look at this thing. Oh, it's stuck on this side. Oh my gosh. And see, it has paddles. This is a great machine. I love it for making bread sustainable. This is ridiculous. This looks like, this is ridiculous. This is, da-da-da. This is awesome. Look at it. Look at that, you guys. Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's fluffy. It's hot. It smells good. It's a little bit overproofed, but oh well. Who cares? Not a big deal. It's going to taste delicious and be super fluffy. Next time I'm going to use less yeast. But what's exciting about this bread is it's a 50-50 mix of, like I said, this home milled flour, which I just explained to you, and this Sunrise whole wheat heritage blend of 2 more flours, which is ultra fine and helps this be super fluffy and at the same time completely whole grain. What's great about Sunrise is that I looked them up in my flour testing, and this wheat is so silky. It's like flour. This is like talcum powder. Why? Because of the Unifine milling that they do. Unifine milling is a kind of milling where the wheat berries are subjected to a like moving rotary impact mill kind of thing that shatters the grains completely apart into this giant explosion, never to be separated. The particles are way too tiny. And so that's why it's so silky fine. And then they do what's called direct sifting, which is they just sift that outcome, the consequence of running the whole wheat berries through the impact mill that's, going. And they are very low temperature. It's a very low temperature way of milling. Stone ground milling, what the mock mill here is capable of doing, is a little bit warmer in terms of, there's a lot of friction in stone milling. So the flour can become warmed, and that can affect things in terms of nutrition. The Unifine milling is very low temp. So it's interesting that the output is super fine, which leads to your bread being really fluffy and not having any hard, sharp particles of bran as much as the other kinds of milling where we can still have large particles of bran that are poking our bubbles and making our bread dense and not so fluffy as this. Super fluffy. So we have whole wheat bread that is so super fluffy through using flour that is completely, unadulterated, pure, retains all the parts. When they directly sift it, all that happens is the largest particles get removed, about 20% of the largest particles. So we're left with 80% whole grain flour, nothing removed except for large particles. What I mean is the germ is not removed in its entirety from the entire flour product, which is what is happening in your store-bought flours. The bran is not removed entirely. The germ and the bran particles are still there as long as they're not part of the 20% that are the largest particles. So it's a wonderful whole product. And so that's something that you're looking for in your country. Like I see we have my shells joined, and in the UK, I know that a place called Hogmedad's, Hogmedad's has the flour from my teacher, Dr. Vanessa Kimball, the Meadow blend. So if you are in the UK and you want to try a Meadow blend of flour, and then also buy a finely milled flour, that's available to you, I would check out that specialty retailer. All right, so we were making some cinnamon rolls, but I've been live for a really long time. Let's go look at the cinnamon rolls. So there's the bread, a little bit poofy, a little too much yeast. Oh wells. I was over there looking for a cutting board so that I could cut these walnuts. I like some nuts in my cinnamon rolls. My family doesn't always agree with me, but last time I made them without nuts, so this time I'm gonna do it with nuts. And nuts are best if you toast them first. So these just came out of the oven like half an hour ago. They were toasting in there. Toasting brings out the flavor of the nuts. Toasting changes their texture to something a little crispier, and the oils in the nuts kind of get roasted, and it's way more flavorful, way more delicious than using raw nuts. Although, of course, it's an extra step. It's an extra step. Yeah, look up that place. If I post this video, I will try to send a link to it. Hogmedad's. All of the UK attendees at my Tuscany retreat in Italy with Dr. Vanessa Kimball, she has, of course, being from the UK herself and working out of the sourdough school in North Hampshire, Northampton, something like that. She has the sourdough school physically there in that location. So there were a good number of people from the UK there. And of course, they know their stores and where the specialty retailers are very well. And so they were talking about that. There were a handful of Americans as well, and some Germans, as a matter of fact. Isn't that cool? It's a nice global family of people who wanted to learn from Dr. Kimball, myself included. Okay, so we've got all of these walnuts pretty much chopped up now. It's looking good. If we were to keep going with this, we would make a nice roasted walnut butter. Okay, I'm just chopping now for fun. So much extra, but it's you can't go back and flavor it and taste anymore. It's unfortunate. It's almost if you don't want quality, don't get in this business of making delicious food for yourself. Right? It's you're gonna spoil yourself, and then you can't have other things. You'll be nope, that's clearly not delicious enough for me. I need my stuff to be way more delicious than that. Food from the store won't taste as good as food you've made yourself with love. All right, I'm oiling the surface of my countertop, and I'm oiling my hands a little bit because it's time to get the dough out of the bag. Look at this dough. Here she comes. Miss America. Look at the dough. So soft and squeezed. It was frozen. Oh, not frozen. This was from the fridge. A long while back, I read a book by a guy who was like a doctor, but also a home baker. And then he hired a professional bread baker and recipe tester named Zoe. I forgot this guy's name, to write a book with him. And then they ended up writing a series of books called like the 5-minute like dough, the 5-minute like, and then like how to basically make a dough that you store in the fridge for a week, and then you keep taking it out and making different things like bread or rolls or like pizza, things that you need over a whole week. So that idea stuck with me. And ever since then, making a dough and then refrigerating it and using it at my convenience has become like an unlocked feature. I've, you know, feature unlocked, like a video game or something. Like I have that ability now. That ability has become unlocked in me. It's nice for when you want to bust out like some rolls with something, or maybe make a flatbread or a pizza kind of off the cuff, to just have the dough ready. Cinnamon rolls, oh my God, who doesn't? Cinnamon rolls are such a favorite. I kind of find myself going back to cinnamon rolls again and again because they're just so delicious and easy and kind of like well loved. I remember I was watching this guy. His company is Firebox. They make these really cool portable flat pack camping stoves. I love camping, you know. And it's funny because he would make camping videos, content, where he's out camping with his Firebox. And what's cool about it is that he had a way of baking with the camping stoves, which is really hard. Baking out in camping is not easy. You have to create like a heated chamber, you know? Okay, so I'm rolling this out. Squishy. I'm rolling out my dough here. And he was making all kinds of cinnamon rolls out in the woods all the time. And I was like, that is just so cool. All right, look at that giant like rectangle that I've rolled, trying to make it nice and trying to make it like pretty rectangular and not rectangular, because you can tell when you roll it up that it wasn't as rectangular as you wanted. Okay, here's a giant sheet. The giant sheet, Kari. It's a giant sheet. Get off my live. Silly face. Giant sheet. Okay, do you see this? This is soft, warmed, Kerrygold cinnamon sugar butter. So this one is garlic. I don't know where the garlic is. This is cinnamon sugar Kerrygold. What a cheat. A super good cheat. This is the garlic and herb version. I just grabbed this from the stove, but they also have Kerrygold in this version, cinnamon sugar. At least here in America, we have this. What a great cheat. And also these ones, what a great cheat for when you want to make a savory roll or a biscuit that is savory. This is a compound butter. This is a sweet compound butter, and here's a savory compound butter that you can buy at the store. I love this. This is such a cheat. You can make all your food taste so delicious. So when it comes to cinnamon rolls, like here we go. We're just going to take this. Let me grab this. I usually use my hands, but I'm going to try to stay neater.
Gotta make a coffee.
What do you need?
I'm just going to press the button. It's going to make a shit ton of noise.
Oh, okay. All right. So here we go. We're going to spread the cinnamon butter all over this while my son makes coffee. And my outside workers make also noise. Yeah. I think it's important to think to yourself, like, this is a good quality hack. Like, there's nothing too wrong with this. This butter is high quality butter, and I'm sure they use high quality cinnamon and high quality sugar in this. And I just think this is a great hack for cinnamon rolls, you know, if you have access to this, or, you know, make it yourself. Anyway, so shortcut. If you had to make this, you would have to combine like a stick of butter with like 2 tablespoons of cinnamon and like basically, I don't know, quarter cup of sugar or something like that. I would need a recipe. So another way that it relieves you is that you kind of don't need to think about making this, and you don't need to think about the recipe of it. Another way to do this stage is to put butter down and then just put cinnamon and sugar on top of it, which is also good. Today we are going to put nuts. Yeah. And hey, check out my apron. Rep Your State of Mind with me, Michelle Crawford. Shop repyourstateofmind.com now and get this apron and make your holidays bright, or brighten the holiday of a stoner near you who likes baking. These cinnamon rolls are going to be so amazing. Okay, don't forget to grab all that lovely, delicious cinnamon butter off the back of the spoon and throw it on there. Okay, now we're gonna put the nuts that we chopped right on there and spread them out. So here's all of our walnuts that we toasted, because what? Do we get toasted? Yes, we get toasted. We get toasted and we get baked. Hi, thanks for joining. Are you here to get toasted and baked with me with these cinnamon rolls? We're gonna get our roll on. I mean, there's so many jokes. There's so many jokes. Get your roll on. They see me rolling. Okay, we're not rolling yet because we're at the stage of putting in our fillings. So we put down the delicious cinnamon butter. Now we're putting down the toasted almonds. And after this, we're gonna roll up our dough, and then we're going to do the cutting of the individual rolls and putting it in the pan for baking. And then they need to rise for like another, maybe even an hour. So that's what we're gonna end this live, is when everything's in the pan. Let it rise for an hour. Maybe I'll come back when I pull it out of the oven and show it to you, or before I put it in the oven, because honestly, the biggest trick I've learned for cinnamon rolls comes right before you put them in the oven. And I don't know if you knew this, because I didn't know this for the longest time, but if you should add a lot of milk or cream at that juncture. You should fill it up with milk and cream. That is how you make really delicious cinnamon rolls, where the texture is like that almost custardy situation. Oh my God, I didn't know, and I was baking my cinnamon rolls without doing the milk and cream step, and they were not turning out the way that, as decadently as I wanted. Okay, see me? Now we are rolling the dough with the nuts and the cinnamon, sugar, butter. And we're making a beautiful roll. And because I rolled my dough right to the edge, you almost have to like roll it off. Okay. You keep going and you hit the seam, and then you go like this a little bit to press the seam onto itself. Then we roll it back over, and look, see, that's pretty nice. Do you see it? You guys can't even see that. Whoop, there we go. There's the seam. Right. All right, so we're gonna roll it out. Now I am like using my thumb to pull the dough just a little bit over. This is like a little minor variation on stitching. Because there's butter, we kind of just want to try to make as good of a seal as we can, and we're just pinching like the dough together to kind of keep the butter and sugar inside, but it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. Alrighty, let me get my pan for this, and we will cut them. And here's two pans that are really good choices for this. Here's a like 8, these are both like 8 or 9 by 13. This is the size you should want. The advantage of a glass pan is that you can see underneath of it and see if it's done. So we're gonna go with the glass pan. This is really nice if you want, you know, ceramic is colorful and pretty. All right, so I am going to grab a knife. I like this serrated knife for this job. I'm starting in the middle. Starting in the center, and I am cutting. Then I go to each side and I do half, cut it in half on each side. This is how you get more even slices through a process where if you started from one side and ended at the other, most people would end up with more uneven slices than if they do this routine, which is where you cut it in half and then go back and cut it in half again, and then in half again. You know what I mean? This process tends to get people to have more even slices than starting at one end. Isn't that something? Little tricks, little hacks for making your buns cuter. I like cute buns and I cannot lie. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could just go in there with these 8 fat buns. Yes, should we just go in there with 8 fat buns, or we could make 16 shorter buns? No, let's just go in with 8 fat buns. Check it out. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, now I'm placing them here. Do, do, do. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Do, do, do. And this is going to be great. So when I fill it up with milk and stuff, it's going to be super good. Do, 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 do. Okay, I see what's going on here. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, I think 8 is perfect for this 8 by. Oh no, see these? These are going to be like roses. These little ones on the end, they're like roses. I should do them like this. There we go. That will make them a little bit more even. There we go. All right, so now these have to proof. These have to rise. We're going to give these about 45 minutes to an hour in a, not drafty place where it's warm enough, and we might cover them with a pan so they can get fat. And we're going to pour some cream and milk into this pan and bake them for about 20, 30 minutes at about 350 Fahrenheit. I know that's really helpful to everybody in the UK. Is like, what's that? I don't know what it is in Celsius. But anyway, hey, Michelle, thanks for joining me. And everyone else, nice to see you. Thanks for getting your roll on with me. And hey, if you like this and you like baking with me, getting baked with Michelle, just stick around. We're about to have a whole community for it starting at the end of January. All right, peace. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.